Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be going over how to build or make a 110cc kids ATV into a RC monster truck. First thing I'll do is I'll get this body off of here. So, first thing for powering everything, what I did is I just have a wire going directly to the battery to a switch, and that goes into a BEC. These make sure that you have a nice clean flow of electric. That way when you're using the servos, especially these big ones here, you can see how big they are compared to my hand, but these so that way it doesn't you know, if you hit the brake, your steering doesn't slow down, etc. So they all get a nice flow of electricity. But I just ran that right to the battery. My BEC, I got my receiver here. Everything's kind of a mess yet because it's been winter time and I haven't had time to mess with it. But this servo here is actually for brake and throttle. What I did is the brake arm, I cut it off about halfway, and then I drilled a hole through it, and then the servo arm goes over here on this side, and it's got a rod, so when that servo arm goes this way, it actually pulls the throttle cable, and then when it goes this way, it actually hits the brake, pushes the brake lever over. Let's see if I can get a view under there, but it's kind of overcast out here today. Okay, see, if you look here, I got this one here. When the servo goes this way, it pulls the brake, and then when the servo goes this way, pulls the throttle cable, just like on a nitro car. And it's a little hard to see under here, but this is I have two of the same servos I got up on top. I just welded up this little box here out of, I think it's 0.045 steel, and then I mounted my servos in there, and I have two servos with a rod going through, and then I welded a bar onto the steering shaft, which is right here in the middle. You can see this here, and I just welded this. It's actually angle iron. Welded it onto there. I put a spring on both sides. If you can tell right now it's a little loose. I need to get some better springs because after you drive it like 3-4 times, some springs start to smash, and then you get your servo saver gets sloppy. And I was worried about it because this thing's like 150 pounds. But so far, I'm still running the plastic servo horns on here, and I haven't broke one. I ran into a tree, I've rolled it over. It's been pretty good. But as soon as I can actually get some better springs, I am going to put some little stiffer springs in here, because what happens is they're not strong enough, so they over bend, and when they over bend, they stay. They don't spring back. But yeah, there's just two of them. It's actually just I think this is like a 1/4 inch. Yeah, it looks like a 1/4 inch, maybe, yeah, 1/4 inch nut bolt, really long bolt. So I'll lay across. On this side I have just put a collar on there, which is just a piece of rod with a set screw in it. And what I did is I cut just a small notch in it, so that way when at first it kept coming off, but that way with that notch in there, the set screw has a place to actually stay put, so then it stays on there. And you can see here, besides the slop I got in there right now, she works pretty good. But that's all there really is to it. I mean, I've been cutting everything apart, trying to get rid of all the weight. Here I go, look at this side, give you a better idea of what I got going on with these servos here. See, here's the collar I was talking about. Got my springs in there. If you look up here, I got the, just welded that onto the steering shaft. I just found center and then ran it out straight forward. And then you see there, when it moves, the servo horns move. Excuse me, the servo horns move in an arc, so you can't just have a hole in there or it'll bind. So you actually have to have a slot. And that's why I have washers in there. So that way, when it turns, you lose this way, so it actually pulls itself back in. I cut a bigger slot in there than I needed to, but this is all kind of, I built this just, I had it here, you know, the kids are too big to drive it. And then for, here's my power stuff. This is just temporary. I'll probably reuse the switches, but I'm going to actually mount them up in the body. This one is the ignition, and this one here is for the power to the radio. Yeah, it looks like my battery's dead from sitting all winter. Not a problem, it's a brand new battery. We just charge that up and we'll be good to go. And I was thinking about painting it up, but it is Mater, you know what I mean? He's a rusty old pickup truck, so I might clean it up a little bit, but otherwise I'm going to leave it just the way it is. I got my rope on here. I was pulling some stuff around, using it for a little workhorse. It's definitely a handy little thing to have. But yeah, that's all there really is to it. It's not that complicated. The only thing that you need that a lot of people don't have is I guess you probably could do it without a welder. You just have to find a different way. I just got a little crappy flux core from Harbor Freight, and they don't weld very good, but the welds hold, so it's good enough. The only thing I don't have on here yet that I do need to get is I do need to get a fail-safe switch on there, so that way if it loses power or radio, it shuts her off, because she did go run away on me once. Luckily it was steered full left, so it just went around in a circle, and I did manage to catch it and get it shut off. So, but yeah, that's one thing you definitely need on there, because you don't want 150 pounds. This thing does about 35 miles an hour running into somebody, because it'll definitely ruin your day. Oh, with the body, oh, the other thing I'm going to do too, I forgot before I forget, is I am going to shorten the swing arm a little bit, move the tires forward, because these are designed, you know, to have a lot of weight in the back. I had to change the shock out back here, it's actually off of a mountain bike, and then I'm going to shorten it up a little bit to get a little bit more weight on the tires, because one thing, these tires are horrible, they don't have any traction, and two, it's made to, you know, have a rider sitting back there. So I'm hoping I don't have to add any weight. I don't like to do that, but if that's what we got to do, then that's what we got to do. But the body is actually two separate Power Wheels bodies, and tore them apart, and I used some sheet ABS. Just made a nice little this piece here all the way back on the side and up on the top. That's what I made out of that sheet ABS, and then I just painted her up. It's not my best ever paint job I've done, but it for what this thing is, it's good enough, because it's not, I mean, this thing sits in the garage. It's not going to be kept perfect forever, because nothing that's left in the garage ever does. So alright, that's going to be all we got for today. If you have any questions, make sure to put a comment down below. And I actually have another one of these that I might do, but at the same time, I might actually just pick up a motor. I found one that actually has reverse with a I actually found two. One has 3-speed with reverse, and the other one actually has the belt drive in it, so that way it shifts automatically with reverse. So then if I do get one of those, what I want to do is I want to actually build my own chassis with independent suspension front and rear. And which would be really sweet is I'm trying to find the parts and I can possibly make it work. It would be really cool to actually make this one of these and it's actually 4-wheel drive, because like this of course is only 2-wheel drive. But okay, that's all I got. Make sure to subscribe if you're not, and hit that like button, and thanks for watching.